Forgot to do that part. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Monday. It's February 27th. We're almost into March 2023. So weird. My name is Jeremy. This is my first cup. Camera's a little crooked, a little high. Let's see if we can fix that. How's that? That's still crooked. Let's fix it a little more. How about that? That's decent. Well, we're going to run with it. How are you? How was your weekend? What did you do? I want you to tell me. I want you to drop it in the chat. I want to know what you did. I want to know the high points. I know some of you had some martial arts stuff going on, and I do want to hear about it. And I bet some of the rest of you did as well. So tell me what you did. My weekend was a little bit simpler than I'd expected. I was planning on going for a hike yesterday, but I woke up yesterday morning to a whole bunch of snow. And while I don't mind hiking in the snow, I don't like hiking in unpacked snow. And we had a bunch of snow last week. And I said, you know what? That's okay. It was also really cold this weekend. Started to warm up yesterday. But instead, the things that I wanted to work through, I ended up at a coffee shop yesterday and just kind of sat and thought and journaled and came up with some ideas. So that is what I needed to do. Who is here, by the way? Good morning, Mark, Jenny, Kelly, Gad, and Stacy, and all the rest of you out there, whether you're watching live or later or listening. I do appreciate you coming by. How are you? What's happening? I did not put sweetener in my tea this morning because it's been a long time and I wanted to remember what it tasted like without. It's good. Oh, I'm ready for a nap. I'm already ready for a nap. Got a busy day ahead. Talking to two potential clients who have expressed interest here. I'm cold. I'm going to wrap up in my blanket. That's not going to last because of my tea. But two potential clients, people who one of them is closely connected to someone that I'm working with already in a different industry. And the other is someone that I met in Mexico. And we just started chatting. I was offering advice, and they were very thankful for the advice before they even realized I did it professionally. And they said, can I hire you? And I said, we could talk about it. So we've had a couple conversations. We're having another conversation today with other people on their team. And I'm just going to ask that you all keep your fingers crossed for me because this would be a big account. I won't say anymore, but it would be a big account. It'd be a big deal. Good morning to you, Nathan. So those are the biggies today. It's Monday. We got an episode of Martial Arts Radio out. Let me see what's going on there. Whose episode is today? It's one of two, and I'm narrowing it down in my brain. What is happening here? Stop this. Stop this. This has to move. We go here. Stephen Brayton. So today's episode is with Stephen Brayton. We had a different Stephen last week. But another really good episode. And I hope you guys keep watching and listening. And I hope you keep enjoying them. And as always, if you have feedback, if you have suggestions for improvement, let me know. Andrew and I had a call on Friday where we talked about a lot of the things that we're going to work on improving. Not because things are bad or broken, but because we're constantly looking for how to make things better. And we've got some pretty cool ideas. There's some things we're trying to figure out. I don't figure out. We're going to do them. Some of them, but Jenny's got a bunch of fingers crossed for me. Come on, computer. There we go. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that. You know, we actually, between people that are coming on, or it looks like they're going to come on. We put out some stuff on social media for both, the personal side and the martial arts side of the consulting work that I do, saying we're in a holding pattern right now. If you want to get on a waiting list, we can do that. But I will not be onboarding any new people for probably until April at this point, because I want to give everybody the attention they deserve. I want to do things well. And there's a lot of stuff that happens that requires more of my time and attention as we get them onboarded, because we have to figure out a direction. And I like to have the time available to, do my job well. And I don't want anybody to get a compromised version of what I do. So, nobody's telling me what they did this weekend, which is bumming me out. It's making me think that you all just stayed home and did nothing, which maybe you did, but hopefully you enjoyed it if that's the case. I have a firearms lesson tonight, call with a friend. It's a fairly busy set of calls today. But tomorrow, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow is a non-recording day, and there's some personal development stuff that I've got carved out that I'm looking forward to. And Andrew and I are recording some episodes in the morning. But other than that, I'm looking forward to just kind of chilling tomorrow. Jenny had a great weekend. Family time and a pool party. That sounds like a lot of fun. Lots of fun. I did not have a pool party. I've thought about having a pool. But you know what? Pools are fun when you have people over, and people just don't tend to end up at my house. I might have one friend over at a time, but I don't think I would do an in-ground pool here. The ground is so wet. Maybe that's why I should. I don't know. But in-ground pools are very expensive. And I'm pretty sure that a pool would just attract bears. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm fairly certain I would look out and I would see dogs and bears swimming in my pool, which would be kind of fun, but nah. Stacy says, I think most of you saw my weekend photography. I certainly did. Gad says, did an early spring cleaning yesterday and finished up and uploaded my new YouTube videos. That's awesome. At some point, Gad, I want to have a chat with you about, where you're taking all this stuff. Maybe you can help us with some YouTube stuff. That would be cool. What else can I say? Friday. Last week was a busy week, like a difficult, busy week, to the point where, I had some expectations to do some email last night to catch up, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was sitting at this coffee shop and still had probably 30 minutes before they closed. I'd finished the work that I went there for, and I said I could do some email. And I did knock out a few, but there were probably 30 emails that I wanted to deal with, and I just went, I need a break. So that might happen tomorrow. A bunch of you are waiting on emails, and I'm at the point where I acknowledge email is going to come in surges, and I'm not going to be able to respond to all of it. And that's okay. It is what it is. I feel like I'm leaving something out. I don't know what it is. It's driving me nuts. That's it. So Thursday's episode of Martial Arts Radio, a black belt journey with Sue Roberts, is probably the episode that we've received the most positive feedback on ever. It is incredible how much feedback I'm getting. I'm getting feedback. People are tagging, they're sharing, they're emailing me, they're commenting. It's all over the place. I love it. I'm so thankful. And it makes me want to do projects like that again. So, Andrew, you'll probably see this at some point. I imagine you're getting positive feedback as well. Let's talk about our next mini documentary. Kelly says she entertained some friends Saturday night after teaching Saturday morning. Found out I'm still recovering as I slept most of the day yesterday. Not as young as I used to be. Well, none of us are as young as we used to be. Some of us pretend, like me, but no, we continue to age. But let's remember what you went through. You had major surgery. It takes the body some time to recover. And about the mini documentary, Kelly says, I heard a student at class recommending it to fellow students. And if it's the same student, I saw that person post it in your school group, which I was pretty pumped about because I got tagged in it. That's what I saw. Jenny said, Sue's episode was amazing. I related so deeply with her journey. And that was why we did it the way we did it. We had a plan, and the interesting part of that plan was that I've been through black belt tests. She had not. Andrew has been through black belt tests. And so when we put together a rough format, it was, okay, we're trying to bring out this element and give people something they can relate to. Either they're relating to the anxiety ahead of time, or the full arc of the journey if they've been through it. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Dennis says, Monday, bah humbug. Nice to see you here, my friend. Good morning, Brian. Dennis was at some Superfoot training over the weekend that I was unable to attend, but looked like they had fun. I was a bit jealous of the fun, but next time. Yeah, I think I'm out of stuff to say. Oh, the last thing I'll say. I finished watching the television show Schitt's Creek. It's amazing. I plowed through 6 seasons in probably 3 weeks. One of the best comedies I've seen. So well done, so brilliantly acted. And if you haven't watched it, you should check it out. And you probably want to skip the pilot because it's not very good. Just saying. All right. Now, Frank sent stuff over. I didn't get it ready because I forgot, because I'm still waking up. Let's see what it is, and we'll go from there. Oh, the other thing I did on Friday was I finished up the next program, which is a 30 Blacks, our flexibility mobility program. And that will be ready to start in time for those of you who are on the front edge of Kit Clinic. So some of you are on day 24. So we'll have that done for you on time. So if you want to flip into that, and it's going to be free. It is a free program. And where are we? Here we are. Here's Frank. Thank you, as always, to Frank for all the work you do on the show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song, and thank you to Denise for our audio. Jenny says, Daniel Levy's character is my favorite. Mine too. He is by far the best actor on the show. He dominates it. And I suspect because he's involved in the writing and probably writing for his own character, so he knows how to play it. Dennis said that he had a blast at Terry's training with Andrew, Abby, Paul, and Danielle. Hip, not happy today. Jenny says, but who needs 2 hips, right? All right, so today, Frank gives us a little bit more material from Maya Angelou. If you must look back, do so forgivingly. If you will look forward, do so prayerfully. But the wisest course would be to present in the present, to be present in the present gratefully. I'm going to read that again because I did not do a good job with that. If you must look back, do so forgivingly. If you will look forward, do so prayerfully. But the wisest course would be to be present in the present gratefully. Completely agree. Easier said than done, but completely agree. All we have that we can impact is right now. I could take my phone and put it over here. I can do that right now. I can't do that then. I can't go back in time. And the other part of that, the piece that so many of us, I would say, make a mistake with, is we sit here and we're waiting to move the phone. We're waiting to do these things. What about right now? There's a good chance that if you can't do it right now, you can't do it. How many of you know people, maybe you're one of the people, who talk about doing something and take no action towards it. Talking about it, talking about it, talking about it, talking about it. And you get sick of listening to them talk about it. And maybe it's somebody close and you say, what are you waiting for? And then they give you some BS excuse. It's a large portion of the world. But yet if you do something, they are often one of the first to criticize, or that must be nice, or something like that. I've cut out the people who say must be nice. I don't need that in my life. Kelly says, going to my first out-of-home PT. She's been my PT person for every surgery, ready for her help, end quote, torture. She was the PT person for the U.S. figure skating team and went to the Olympics. She has a poster with both Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding autographed. That's really cool. Sounds like you are in good hands. Awesome. Glad to hear. I spend a lot of time thinking about this past, present, future part. The future has to get you excited. So you take action in the present to get to the future that you want. If you look into the future and you don't see anything better than where you are now, I think you're missing out. Life can always be better. There are a couple things that over the weekend I committed to myself to doing, and now just have to get some of the logistics lined up. And once I do, I will tell you what they are. One of them is me starting something again that I've not done in a long time. And one is me doing something, well, not quite for the first time, but something I haven't done in a class setting in 21 years. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And once they're happening, I'll tell you. And Dennis says, now Kelly's PT needs an autographed poster of Kelly Thomas. Boom. Completely agree. Our next Maya Angelou quote: we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. We won't spend too much time on it, but imagine in modern society the personification of a butterfly, of a caterpillar. How would that go down? I don't think it would be received well. And yet we all, if we want to be honest, have this ability to transform massively. But we don't live in a society that encourages that. We live in a society that suppresses at every level. And it's gross. And I don't accept it. And I won't participate in it. I want every person out there to be more and have more and do better and enjoy life in the way that they want. That's part of why I do the work that I do. That's part of why Whistlekick is the way it is. And there are times when people around me are self-critical in an unhealthy way, and I call them out on it. There are times when people will not acknowledge their potential, and I call them out on it. And it's interesting because at that point, one of two things happens. Either they say, you know what, you're right, thank you. And I know that I've helped someone, even a tiny bit. Or you get the other people who double down on why they suck and their lives are going to continue to suck for the rest of time. And those are people that I don't spend time with. Those are the people that I unfollow or hide on social media. Those are the people that when they reach out to me, I generally don't respond. Because it's a waste of time. Hey, Jeremy, can you help me with this? No. I'm busy. I can't help everybody, and I'm going to choose to help people who are actually going to do something with the help. I'm not going to throw my help down a hole. It is too precious a resource at this time. Where are we? We're here. We're moving windows around that we didn't mean to. What a beautiful setup that I didn't even know about. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. People know themselves much better than you do. That's why it's important to stop expecting them to be something other than who they are. I'm going to read that one more time for you. Pay attention. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. People know themselves much better than you do. That's why it's important to stop expecting them to be something other than who they are. That may be her most famous quote. Or perhaps it's just because of the books I read, but it's referenced often. And it's so true. Some people would say that people don't change, that they become different versions of themselves. Maybe they can become better versions of themselves. I believe people can change. I believe it's very rare. You have to have an overwhelming reason to be a different kind of person. And I say that because I know how much I've changed. I know that there are things in my past that would never happen in the present with the current version of me. I've grown. I've grown tremendously. Kelly says, making people better one kick at a time. A lot of us are working on that. Stacy says, I've been called out at that point. Ouch. Later on. Thanks. Well, we don't grow without discomfort and pain. If it's completely comfortable and not hurtful, then it's not stretching you. One of the things, so, and this is appropriate to talk about now, the thing that I was working on at the coffee shop this weekend, I needed to spend some time thinking about this contrast that I've experienced between being in Mexico and being here. I was doing wonderful work. I was incredibly efficient. My mindset was better while I was away, and trying to understand what is different about me here versus me there. And some of it's the physical environment, which is why I left here to go work through some stuff. But what I think I've honed in on is I have this tendency to end up doing these uncomfortable things that, as I embrace them, make me better. And when I thought about the travel that I've done and some of the other undertakings that I've made, that lines up. That seems to be a common thread. So we're going to test it. There are a couple things that make me uncomfortable that, as I spend some time with them, will make me better. And I'm going to go do them. And again, I'll tell you what they are soon enough. Gad says, relationship pitfalls, quote, oh, he, she will change once we're married and have kids. Yeah, that doesn't work out so well. And Jenny says, it's so easy to say that when the good parts of the relationship seem worth saving. Yeah. It's true. We could probably do a whole episode on romantic relationships, but we won't. Especially since it's weird for me as a single person to talk about relationships. But you know why I'm single? The reason I've been single for as long as I have because I've gotten better at this stuff. I used to be, in a new relationship every 3 to 4 months, but not with people that were worth being in relationships with. So once I figured all that out, I went, oh, got to raise the bar here. And I have. It's all good. So I think it's time to go. I appreciate all of you. I hope that you will think about supporting us. If you've supported us in the past, what's one small thing you can do to help us in our mission to connect, educate, entertain the traditional martial arts of the world? There are so many things you could do in less than 30 seconds that would help us out. And the entire list is at whistlekick.com/family. What's a good example? Like or comment on a post. Share a post. Sign up for the newsletter. Tell a friend about the most recent episode that you watched or listened. Right? There's a bunch right there. If you prefer to read over to listen, we have transcripts of most episodes. You can copy and paste them and put them on your tablet. Or if it's like an iPad, you can just read it right from the website. You do this stuff intentionally. Okay. You can also make a purchase at whistlekick.com with the code FIRSTCUP15. You can even join the Patreon for as little as $2. Jenny says, we could do a whole series on romantic relationships, but we have better things that we are doing with our time. I don't know if they're better, but they are different. I do try to stay in my lane, and I do try to stay with the things that I'm most confident in talking about, especially on our shows. And I'm confident talking about romantic relationships. I've provided support to a lot of people in my life. And frankly, the things that get in the way of people in romantic relationships really aren't that different than the things that get in the way of people in professional or personal relationships, or even in their own way when it comes to their profession or their goals. It's all roughly the same stuff. But you don't come here for us to talk about that. You come here for us to talk about martial arts. And so we do. Oh, I like that analogy. Thank you, Jenny. You stay in your lane, but you are widening the highway. Thank you. And Gad says, well, it's a great topic, relationships. That is what Confucianism is all about, our relationship to others, but also to the cosmos. It's all about relationships. Everything is relationships. It might be a relationship to an object, to yourself, to the universe, to nature, to your dog, to your family, to your spouse. It's all relationships. And if we can strengthen those relationships, if we can make them healthier, things work out better. I think I talked about this once, maybe twice last week, but I'm very much feeling it to be something that I think it's going to be significant as I look back in a few months. I wait as long as possible to look at stuff on my phone when I wake up. Right now, it's about 30 minutes before I even acknowledge my social media. And that's making a difference. I'm noticing that my body's not craving looking at Instagram and TikTok like every 5 seconds. Something you might want to try. Dennis says, it's not easy being a trophy husband. I'm sure it is not, my friend. All right, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic day. Consider supporting us if you would, please, in some fashion. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Peace.